How's it going, everyone? Today we have a different kind of video. Um, None of you probably know this about me, but I am a plant person. I love growing plants. I'm not the greatest at it, but I'm getting better. But for the last 2 years, I've been trying to grow plants, mostly like in the spring, summer, fall, of course. Well, some plants in winter. Winter's a little bit harder. Um, Especially since where I live, we get cold winters, hot summers. We see every season. So I can't grow tropical plants outside, unfortunately. That'd be cool though. But I just want to show you guys my plant collection, and I'll try to give you guys updates on it as much as I can. So I'm really proud of what I grow, and it's not much. I live in a little apartment. I got a little tarp and stuff down, so my carpet don't get dirty when I go to water them and stuff. I have gotten a little dirt on it, but um, there's my balcony and stuff. Yeah, I live in an apartment. So I'll start with whatever I want to start with. I'll explain all my plants. This one I don't know the name. Well, I know the name, but I don't want to pronounce it. But it's a little house plant I got from my grandma. She has a huge plant, probably about that tall, maybe taller. And I took a cutting off of it and I soaked it in water. I changed the water every day and eventually grew a root about that big. And I put in it's a little 2-liter bottle of soda. But it works for the moment. I'll get bigger pots eventually when it gets bigger. Right here, you're probably like, oh, there's nothing here. I got a black walnut, and I just put it in dirt for about 5-6 weeks. Kept the dirt decently moist, and it grew a root about that big, decently thick. And it's underneath the dirt here. I planted it probably about 5 or so days ago. So yeah, we got a little wall. It's been over a week now. We got a walnut plant, hopefully gonna come up from this. In these little Burger King and Wendy's cups, I think they're called date pits, the seeds that you find in dates. And I put them in a damp paper towel, a little baggie, stuck it in a cabinet, and probably about a month ago, and they grew little roots on them, so I planted them. Those are not tropical plants, but those plants can't survive winters, so they have to stay inside. I have 2 more date plants I'll show you later. Right here, this guy's looking rough. This is a yellow sweet pepper plant. They grow about that big. The peppers are sweet and delicious. He's been through a lot. I kind of broke a couple pieces off of him. But before I moved to this apartment where I used to live at, I had these not little, but bell pepper plants. And I planted sweet peppers probably like in June of last year. And one of the seeds somehow got all the way like across the outside of the house. And it grew a whole little sweet pepper plant. And I knew it wouldn't grow nothing or survive the winter. So I pulled it out of the ground, put it in a pot, and it grew into this big guy. And I've overwintered it inside. It grew a couple peppers on it. They're actually really good. But I plan to plant all of these except this house plant in the ground at my grandmother's house because I really don't have anywhere else to plant them in the ground. But yeah, this is a sweet pepper plant. He should grow. There's a little bit of new growth starting to appear on him. He looks decently healthy. He's seen better days, but we'll get him out of this pot eventually. Over here, these 3 I know for a fact are cherry tomato plants. As you can see, they grew like really big. I had to cut them back significantly, but they look pretty healthy. This one down here is growing a couple little tomatoes. These 3 are all indoor grown. They were little tiny seedlings in the compost bin I used to have, or like a compost pile. And I took them and I put them in these little milk jugs, and they have just taken off. They've grown indoors all winter, and they've grown a couple little tomatoes. They're very good too. These were 2 tomato seedlings that just came up out of nowhere. Must have gotten the dirt I was using or something, but I just kind of Had them share this little milk thing. I think they're cherry tomatoes as well. There's a small chance they could be beefsteak tomatoes, because I did put a couple rotten beefsteaks in the compost bin. But yeah, they're doing pretty well. I need something to hold them up. I'll figure that out later when I put them outside. But yeah, these are all planted at my grandmother's house. Back here, these aren't doing so good because they're growing so big and I just don't have enough room for them. But these are Long Island cheese pumpkins. They are said, I think, to be more resistant to pest, more durable stems, and I heard they're really good for pies, so I got them. Because I was tired of squash vine borers killing my pumpkins, my pumpkin plants, so the last 2 years, so I've got these. I got this. I don't know if this is any good. I think I sprayed on the leaves, maybe put it in the dirt. I heard if you plant the pumpkin vines underground as it grows, it helps keep pests away from getting in there too, and it keeps them they get more nutrients because they have more root development. But yeah, these will definitely be going in the ground. Hopefully we'll get like 20-foot long vines, couple huge pumpkins maybe off them. We'll see. Hopefully they survive. This is a little succulent I got off a cutting. It was like a real tiny cutting turned into this big boy plant. It's a little succulent. I've had it for 2 years. It's pretty cool. I just put it in a bigger pot, so it should be growing even bigger. Right here's a little moon cactus. Had him for 2 years. He's been alive, doing okay. So that's good. Let me get over here. These are rose cuttings that came from roses. I put them in water probably about a week, maybe week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And I'm starting to see a little bit of growth on them here. No roots. There's also a couple gnats flying around, but yeah, no roots, but they are showing some new growth. So hopefully I can get a couple rose bushes. They're like yellowish red, yellow and red roses. These are marigolds. I don't know if the purple's a bad thing. It could or could not. It could mean phosphorus deficiency, cold temperatures. I have had them in like 40, 50 degrees some days just to harden them off, because they're going to need to be stronger in colder weather if they're going to be, there'll be like colder nights maybe. They'll need to survive those. Yeah, this one's got a little flower starting to come up. These couple up, I think this one and then these three over here are regular, just normal French marigolds. And then these all over here are Jolly Jester marigolds. I believe they're all French marigolds, so I heard those are the best for deterring pest, which deterring pests would be good for those, because pumpkins are very prone to getting, like, pest. I think powdery mildew, and even, like, what are they called? White flies or mites. So, right here we have peppers. There's a mixture of, I believe some of Tabasco pepper seeds sprouted, and I kind of just mixed them with sweet peppers. I believe these are all sweet peppers, but I believe the thinner looking ones, I believe, are the Tabasco peppers, and then the wider leaved ones are the sweet peppers. So we'll have some peppers, hopefully. All these are going to go in the ground, like I said, except for the succulent, the little cactus, and this guy right here. I'm sure all you sunflower fans are like, oh boy, look at all those sunflowers. Yes, I don't know the exact names, but I know the colors that these sunflowers will be. These are doing really good. These are like 9-10 inches, probably 10 inches tall. I planted all these seeds, like the peppers, the marigolds. This is cilantro, we'll get to that. And then I planted the sunflowers all like the last day of February. So that'd be what, the 28th. Let me check the time here. Can I check the time? Okay, we're doing all right on time. But these are black sunflowers. They're doing really good. I think they grow to like 5 or 6 feet tall. These right here will be orange sunflowers. They'll grow about 5, 6 feet tall. These are sunflowers I grew last year. They're supposed to be Queen Velvet sunflowers, but they didn't really look like Queen Velvet sunflowers, so. But yeah, this is generation 2 of these from seeds I got off plants I grew last year. And this is a mammoth sunflower. It's supposed to grow probably about 12 feet tall, it said, so we'll see. He's nice and sturdy. Most of them are pretty sturdy, good for wind. I've been bringing them outside whenever I can. Probably about maybe 2.5 weeks they've spent outside getting the sun, the cold. Not like freezing cold. I made sure it was like above 40 or above. But they've been getting heavy. There's been heavy winds. They've survived. Just hardening them off for when I put them outside. And right here is cilantro. These are 6 cilantro plants put together. I think I'll just plant them bunched together. They seem to be doing just fine. But yeah, here's the collection I have right here. Over here is the water made from this stuff, and that's just a water jug, and these are bags. Off to the left here, I have a dragon fruit and another date plant. Actually, I'm gonna show you guys. There's a dragon fruit. Yeah, don't mind my Pokemon over to the side. That's a dragon fruit. I kind of made a little thing for it to climb here. I don't know if it's gonna climb it or not, but I just put it in a bigger pot. I believe this is a bell pepper seed that I somehow got in there. It's either a sweet or a bell pepper. And then these are my other 2 date plants. Pretty cool. Like I said, there's a couple gnats hanging around here, so if you see any bugs, they'll die off. They have nothing to eat or nothing. So, and this is a little fuzzy succulent. I forget the name. It starts with a K or something. But he's been tiny, but he's alive. He's doing all right. But yeah, this is my little plant collection for 2026. I might be expanding it. I don't know yet. Ooh, my finger's getting in the way. But yeah, most of this will all go outside. Can't wait for the warm weather. I'll try to update everyone on this as much as I possibly can. But thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you next time. Have a great day.